So at this point in the campaign, things are going to drastically change. Now that North America is kind of it's somewhat recognizable, things are going to get interesting as the Europeans start to colonize even more. Because obviously Portugal's going after Latin America already with Brazil, and they've got a pretty good chunk here. Actually, looks like they've broken off and they grabbed this. Oh, that looks like Portugal, but that actually is not. That looks like from the font from this mod UI, that looks like Portugal. But yeah, no, this is just Portuguese Brazil. I was going to say, what's the AI doing, splitting up their colonies like that? So yeah, I mean, you know, Portugal's going to become, at least this Portugal colony, Portuguese Brazil, will become a bigger and bigger threat. Not too much for North America, but eventually they will, because they'll probably decide to turn their sights on Central America, which will be a big point, I think, for the Europeans to colonize. I'm not sure if this land is very rich. It somewhat is. I mean, development-wise, there's some really, really good development here in Belize. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say, wow, just in Guatemala as well. There's 10 development there. So someone eventually, I'm thinking France, because France is pretty dominant in Western Europe at the moment, kind of cutting into Iberia, very good. And, you know, obviously having Aragon still there, Aragon divided, they are no longer under that personal union, or they don't have the personal union over Naples, so Aragon isn't too powerful. Actually, Aragon has, like, no alliances. Venice is, okay. Ferrara's not going to do much. Genoa's not going to do much. Castile allied to Hungary. What's Hungary going to do to France? And then Portugal, they've got no alliances either. So Iberia is extremely weak. If France is the one to get here to Central America or even to the Caribbean, which, by the way, Spain is already in the Caribbean, about to establish their first two colonial provinces, then things will get really interesting in this campaign. Puerto Rico will be the first island, I think, on the chopping block, so we'll have to see how they do. Well, I guess the Virgin Islands as well. If they do get taken over, it'd be really quick, so hopefully I can kind of check the ledger, and hopefully we'll be able to make a in memoriam video or something like that to Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyways, there are a few wars going on. One, we might be seeing the end of Ohio here, with Florida, South Carolina, and Virginia all gaining up on Ohio. Even though they did cut into Pennsylvania territory and they were doing okay, they kind of lost it. The other big one is Wyoming versus with Kansas and Iowa versus Kansas. I'm sorry. Wyoming with Kansas and Iowa against Nebraska and Wisconsin. And I don't think they're going to be doing too well. I mean, we've already have 2 out of the 3 provinces that Nebraska controls under occupation. Obviously, they might do a little bit better with the help of Wisconsin. Wisconsin might be able to help some things out. It really depends. Oh, maybe not. They're already over here. So that is maybe just the end of the end right there for them. Because, I mean, this is a big stack. Wyoming and Iowa working together with a 20 stack. Kansas right next to them. So I don't know what's going to happen to Wisconsin. They did eat up, obviously, Michigan, and they've cut into Minnesota and stuff like that. I don't know if they would be forced to release some of those states. Also, something over the break, and I probably should have looked into this like way earlier, is that I do realize that there is a lot of formidable nations now, a ton. So whatever state becomes the most powerful, we might be definitely seeing some really, really interesting sort of formidable nations as we continue onward, which is going to make things even more fun as the Europeans try to come and attack. Arizona is in their war with Sonora against Baja California, and bam, there it goes. So Arizona grabbed themselves 3 provinces. There you go, south of California. Now, are they liked very much? No. So I know that California can form a very interesting... They can form an interesting formidable nation, something like the Pacific Nation or something like that. They need Tijuana, and they need... I don't know if they need all of Baja California. They might need to go all the way here, which obviously, being allied to Sonora, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But California still has very weak alliances, I'd say. Sonora's okay, but their alliances right now, not the most powerful. If California does continue to expand towards to the deep south, I don't see it going very well for them. Florida's strong. Florida's very strong. Even though, I don't know, I mean, we check the ledger, they don't have as many numbers on their side as maybe we are expecting, but with the Florida alliance and, their opinion, a lot of people love Florida down here. So that's the thing. That's the big question. Ontario also extremely powerful. Okay, so there goes Wisconsin. Wyoming, so this is kind of incredible what we're seeing here, because I think I did make a mention, I think I mentioned earlier how Wyoming is such a small state. I mean, I'd love to see Wyoming continue to do continue to do better and better. Because I don't think it's the smallest in terms of population, in terms of states in the U.S. I don't think they have the smallest population. All I know is that the city I live in Southern California, has more population than in the entire state of Wyoming. Like, that's crazy. And actually, that statistic is from like 5 or so years ago, so it could be different, but I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, Wisconsin pretty much just made, which I've been apparently pronouncing it's Manitoba. Not, I was pronouncing it Manitoba, and I think I was messing that up. I apologize. So I was messing that up too. But yeah, no, Wisconsin not looking too well, and it went to the Canadian province. So yeah, Wyoming got something from it, but was it worth it? Because now the Canadians are continuing to push further and further into the northern states. This is going to be bad. Okay, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens with the results of the Ohio War. Anything else? Let's go ahead and check over some of the wars. There is a Yucatan Peninsula War going on in Mexico. So we'll see who wins this. Seems like it will be Yucatan and Chiapas, something like that. Seems like it should go to them, but we'll see. It would be interesting to see a force continue to build off the Yucatan Peninsula and entering more into the Mexican government area, Mexican capital, things like that. Florence. Okay, so there's actually no Northern American continent wars going on, so it's a time of peace. Let's go and check on the results of Ohio. What happened with Ohio? So Virginia now has completely surrounded West Virginia. This isn't even West Virginia anymore. This is Middle Virginia. They should just call this Middle Virginia. So there goes Ohio. Did they lose their alliances? They did. They're no longer allied to New England, which they were allied to before. New England desperately needs to get up another alliance because Ontario is right here next to them. Also, New England is hated by Virginia and Ontario, so that's not good. Our first formable nation might not be able to survive for that much longer. Let's go and check in on Australia. How's Australia doing? It's still the same. We have Western Australia starting to dominate the continent, but I do believe a lot of the well-developed provinces are here in the that's definitely the case. Are here in the east. A lot of very well-developed provinces. So we have Northern Queensland. That's actually, I do want to check in here on the west though. I'd imagine this is moderately well-developed. No, and also these are very big provinces, so you can't necessarily say that Western Australia is typically dominating here. It all depends on if these minor nations start to team up together. So Northern Queensland and Victoria would be a pretty good combination. Queensland themselves, I don't think they're just allied to the Capital Territory and Tasmania. Tasmania has shown that they're not really going to do much in the affairs of Western Australia. Really, really wish that New Zealand was a part of this mod. That would have been very cool. Just an extra element would have added a lot. We also need to keep an eye on Danish Greenmark, or from what other people like to call it, Greenland. But, you know, I don't know what that even means. I only refer to it as Danish Greenmark. Because that is a place that, you know, someone could colonize from the European continent and then maybe jump off, go after Newfoundland. Newfoundland has no alliances and they're not very well liked. Well, actually, they are. Ontario likes them somewhat. It's okay. It's okay. But it's possible they get an alliance up, but I'm thinking Ontario might face towards... oh, bam, there it goes. Yeah, it's a little bit too late. But wait a second. Ontario, this is a solo war. This is a solo war, so it's just going to be New England and Indiana versus Ontario. And I apologize, I know I've been calling Indiana India for a very long time. It's just so weird because I have probably said India at least like 1,000 times throughout YouTube. And I've just, to put the extra A on it, in my brain, it makes it so tough. I don't know why. Here's the thing though, Ontario, because they reached into southern Michigan, means that there is a very easy access point for Indiana to get to Ontario. So boom, they can just slowly, now is this forted off though? It is kind of. Toronto's forted, so they will have to go up to Toronto, and then they'll be able to link up. Unless, of course, they move around Lake Ontario. I don't know if they'd have movement. You know, it's so... The movement... no, because Erie has a fort as well. Still, forts are... Here goes Ontario. Forts and the limited amount of movement are just so weird in EU4. There's no defining method. There's no really defining scheme to forts. It's just like whatever the game thinks, I think, some of the time. I know a lot of EU4 players have been kind of upset about that fact. Okay, so how are we doing? Ontario is the going to win this battle, drastically win this battle. Remember, they have just amazing morale on their side. Incredible morale on their side. So it doesn't really matter if New England has, I think, twice as the amount of troops as New England. They're gonna not win any battles no matter what. So Ontario's gonna continue to dominate. And if they continue to have this much success, if they continue to keep up alliances, then they're going to be able to kind of wipe the floor with anyone, I think, just about anybody. Here they are. I know some people wanted me to... Oh, also, well, let me... Before I jump into some of the stuff that... I'll wait to hold off on some of the map mode-looking thingies. We have Sonora involved in a war. I would imagine that Sonora is going to be able to pretty much dominate. Oh, and now Maryland is involved. Ontario already at 5 war score. It doesn't matter. Maryland, you probably just got yourself involved into a losing battle last second there. We have the Canadian province against North Dakota and Iowa. They're winning that offensive war with 6 war score. That is a reconquest of Ward. Reason for that war. Wyoming back at war. This time... Oh... Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of Canadian wars going on, actually. So why? Mainly for North Dakota, it seems like. Well, this is all going on. We've got Alberta in a war, Yukon, Northern Territories, British Columbia. They're involved in... Okay, so British Columbia is involved in every single war. We'll see if Washington gets pulled down. They might. They could be a crucial ally, though. Washington being kind of outside of all the other wars could really help out British Columbia if you're rooting for British Columbia. Wow, yeah, this is a very big one. So I don't think we even really need to view the Ontario War. There's no way this is going to go in their favor, I don't think. Unless, of course, what could happen is the AI could be very dumb. AIs have a lot of trouble fighting two fronts like they are right now. So they're gonna push back Indiana. New England's gonna get time to rebuild slightly, at least until, well, yeah, look, there's already a 26 stack going after a fort here. And now they're going to have to run back. Now, will a 9.9 stack with extra morale be able to beat a 26 stack? I don't know. Boom, there goes the first fort, the Erie fort, to fall, which means that Indiana could technically consolidate. Maryland is here as well. But they're going to, Ontario's dominating when it comes to the battles. I mean, they're just, boom, just cleaning up the floor, wiping up the floor with them whenever they enter a battle. So 13 war score for Wyoming. Yukon has 17 war score over the Northern Territories, so we might have a new. California is going to destroy Arizona, so that will make things interesting. And is that it? Oh, Japan has formed. Maybe it probably formed a long time ago. Actually, it's likely that they formed a long time ago. Let's keep an eye on the Canadian provinces. I'm pretty sure something very different is going to happen here. When did Alaska lose? Oh, they lost it a long time ago, didn't they? What the heck? Why? Click on Alaska. There you go. Yeah, they lost all that stuff like a while ago. Their former cores. Japan is here. Oh, Japan's got an interesting color. So Japan is dominating. They're going to beat the Useji very soon. I think. Seems like that. Korea also doing well. Australia is in about the same boat. Is Arizona taken out just yet? Nope, not yet. Oh, Sonora's not doing well at all. Which is kind of interesting. Oh, well, they're fighting the Cholula. I think that's Cholula, something like that. Texas might pop out, but if Sonora loses this drastically, then no, they might not. So California's going to lose an alliance member, it looks like, or at least their alliance member is going to lose a lot of power. Again, Nevada, I don't know why, Vegas is nice and all, but maybe allied to Wyoming or Kansas or something. I don't know why you're not liked by Washington, or at least maybe make a statement with one of the stronger Canadian provinces. British Columbia is occupied by Kansas so far. The Northern Territories are actually starting to dominate Yukon. Alberta is maybe not involved in the war or something. How's North Dakota doing? They're doing okay. Oh, bam. So something just ended. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I just clicked away. So surprisingly enough, Ontario, they do have a few provinces that are under occupation. That's kind of incredible. They've got a lot actually, but are they? But does that mean they're losing? Because they've won every single battle. I think that they've almost every single battle. So it wouldn't make much sense if they're at negative 47 war score. Holy crap! Has the tide turned? Well, I think it's just because the amount of people they're facing. Like, yeah, they are able to. Oh, are they going to win this battle? See, look at that. That's crazy. New England has 3.3 morale. They can only really win a battle if they're lucky and they grind away at their morale, lose first few battles, and then boom, jump in there with a big stack like that, or not lose. Yeah, I mean New England would have to lose, the first few battles, lower their morale to the point where it's at least even, and then hopefully have the numbers advantage. Maryland has made, I think, a big difference though. Surprisingly enough. There you go, Maryland. So this definitely won't be the end of Ontario, but I'd love to see what happens. New England might gain a lot of strength here. They're not cores. There's no cores here in any of these lands, so, I don't know if they're going to really take that much. It is a defensive war that New England is facing, so they're not typically super aggressive when it comes to stealing things away like that. Yukon is probably going to get destroyed, I think. British Columbia is out of the Northwestern Territories war. So how's Wyoming doing? They're doing well, it looks like. Yeah, oh yeah, they've got these are all the occupations. The colors confused me a little bit. The stripes, I was like, oh, they only have 2 occupations, but no, they've got a bunch. They've got like 3 or 4. Double, it's double. Yeah, they're going to get pushed back. North Dakota and Iowa also working together. I don't know if Iowa's over here. They probably are. Yeah, I mean, military access is just kind of a given thing now. I don't think I should even make that comment anymore. Like, it's pretty much a given that the AI will find a way to get to the war. Because military access just has to be founded by... There's just so many variety of ways to get military access. So it doesn't really matter. Definitely keeping my eye here. Oh, look at this. Yucatan did get pushed back. I thought they were going to win that. So the Campeche? Anyways, Castile's about to form their first colonial nation as they grab this entire island here. Who's this? Is this England? Yep, and now England is in the Caribbean. All right, here we go. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be very, very different. So, bam, there goes the peace deal. Oh, they took a big chunk back. So maybe New England has... Maybe New England might have some sort of a claim. Well, they don't have a claim. Never mind. I don't know why I think that. They've got a claim on these territories. For some reason, they have a claim on all of Newfoundland. But, yeah, New England did not settle for nothing there. They took 7 provinces away. Wow. Well, let's see if they can hold on to that. Also, with the newly found power in the Northeast, will they be able to convince more states on their side to come defend them? If Ontario, which ultimately Ontario will attack again, so maybe they will. Seems like they're more disliked now, though, because, Virginia, the threat from Virginia and the South, the Deep South really doesn't like New England. New England's in a tough spot, man. I got to give them credit, though. I can't believe they were able to pull that off. And North Dakota grabbed a bunch of provinces, and so did Alberta. Well, Alberta was like that, weren't they? Oh, Wyoming looks even powerful. There you go. Look at that, Wyoming. That is crazy. Wyoming is doing amazing. That's very cool. Anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.